I find in those moments, like good conversation comes out, or if people need to talk about things, like when you're sitting in a sewing circle, just things come out and you just feel good afterwards. Hello, my name is Kristy Janvier. I'm from Flin Flon, Manitoba. I am Dene, a member of English River First Nation and a settler mix on my mother's side. And I am primarily a dancer, but in 2018 I had asked my sister to show me some beadwork, or how to do it. So she gave me a quick 5-10 minute tutorial and off I went. I tried when I was about 12 years old, when I was with my grandma, but it was too hard. I still have like the half done piece. She tried to show me how to make a barrette and I thought it was too hard, so I had put it down for like quite a few years. And so primarily I make little small pieces, usually like pins, little keychains. Sometimes I work on bigger projects. I've done the beadwork for my daughter's moss bag. I'm doing some other beading for more art projects as well, not just for commercial sale. And today I am working on something I had a dream about. It was about a couple weeks ago. I had a dream, or kind of a vision, I guess, of this turtle shell, and it was black and blue and it had a crack in it. So I'm just working on it now. So usually what I do is I bead on felt with some cardboard on the back. If I need to trace out the pattern, I use tracing paper. So here I had a bit of a pattern of the shell traced out, and this gold crack going through the piece, which is how I started. And then after I do the outlines, I'll peel this off and fill the rest in. But I'm not sure who this piece is for, but we'll see kind of what it turns out to be. It might be like a medallion to wear, or I'm not sure, maybe an art piece. We'll see once it's done. Yeah, what else can we say? So last June, I did a beading project in the school with the elder and knowledge keepers in the classrooms. And so what we did is a group project. We were in a different classroom each day, so we had to pick a small project. So we did the 5-petal flower, and because it can take quite long, especially if you are a beginner beader, just to learn how to lay the beads, how to sew. I only do 1 needle primarily. Another technique is with the 2 needle, but for students, first timers, we just had them do 1 petal each. And then from there, we cut them out and assembled all the petals together on a canvas. And so to make a picture, like one student who really wasn't going to bead, they painted the canvas. So then we had this like beautiful picture completed that is hanging up in the schools, which is really cool to have a project where everybody's contributing and everyone is just trying out their creativity and their style. You know, we kind of give them some direction of how to do it, but then we really put it into the students' hands of what kind of colors they want to use, what design, which direction do you want the beads to lay. Like this one, I'm kind of going out all the way, but I could have gone across the whole piece. Once you learn beadwork, you start to kind of read the beads, and you'll like look at directions, you'll look at the patterns a lot differently. And another thing is that you'll notice patterns in beadwork is quite regional. So my Dene pattern beadwork from my family side, for me, is very recognizable, but it's not beadwork that I would see anywhere here because we live in a different territory. So it can be very specific to the families, to the plants and inspiration that is around. And it can be quite interesting to see, like once your eyes begin to read beadwork, to see where that person, where that artist might be from.
Do the artworks connect in some ways, like you're doing your dance and beading, or?
Sometimes, because for me it's kind of like a choreography of how you're going to start your project. Like what order, the sequence as well, like, or the feel. When I was teaching the young students, like they don't know where to poke, because as you can see, I'm just holding it with my fingers, but underneath this hand needs to feel where to go. And so I've beaded on canvases a few times, and it can be difficult because if you poke the wrong spot, then you have a hole in your canvas. So it's getting a feel, and as well as like the tension. So the tension in your hands or your energy will translate into the thread. And something I've noticed is that if I'm having a bad day, or say I have a bad thought about someone, I'll have a lot of knots in my thread. I might even break a needle. Something like that will happen, and so you have to kind of just like put it aside and do something else for a while, or you have to like try to clear those thoughts, like whatever you're thinking about, those bad thoughts. So
how do you find your supplies? Like how do you get those supplies?
Well, like I said, I use this firm felt, which I get at the dollar store. I found it quite easy to bead on. Just because like a lot of times we don't have Pellin here. I also don't have access to smoked hide, which is very nice to bead on, but I don't have access to that. So I usually bead on felt. And then for the beads, it's kind of whenever I go out of town and I'm traveling. And I'm always trying to look for new colors, different sizes, and just ever growing my collection at home.
Is there sort of a recorded history of the different beading techniques in the North, or different communities?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't found anything. But my friend was working at the Manitoba Museum one summer, and I went to see her. And I got to go back and see the collection that's not for the public's eye. So it was very cool to see that collection. And her boss, she was the one that kind of taught me about how she could read the beadwork, because she would look at it and say, you know, what community it was from and what era. So she could tell by reading the beads, like that color was very, 1940s. Everyone was using that color. That shape of that flower, that petal is like this. So I'm not sure if she would have that documentation. Like, I'm not sure if she just learned by just constantly studying and being around it. But yeah.
So how long does it take for you to do a work that size, let's say?
This one will maybe take up to about 6 hours.
Wow.
Perhaps, yeah. I'll estimate it at 6, at least. I do the small blueberries, and that's usually about 2 hours for one.
Okay.
Or so, because usually what I do is I do small pieces, but I'll do multiples. So maybe I'll do all the prep. Like I'll sew all the felt onto the cardboard. And then I do, all the blues and all this. Then I do all the leaves on 10 pieces or something like that.
Okay.
Rather than make one complete. So sometimes like with bigger, or when I'm doing multiples.
So what's your vision for this particular artwork, for this beading?
This turtle, or?
This turtle.
I'm not sure. Like in the dream it was black and blue. So I have a vibrant blue outline.
Ooh.
That's going to go around, so that there's a few teachings with the turtle. And I chose the turtle kind of as my word or animal for the year. in the 7 teachings, turtle is truth. So maybe the piece is for me, but I don't think it is. But I would use copper if it was for me, but my vision was gold.
Huh.
But I'm not sure, like it might become like a medallion, like a necklace. I also had an idea for like as an artwork, once I cut it out, and then as a bigger piece of it, like artwork, but
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay,
But yeah.
interesting.
So I think that once I'm done this part, I'm gonna post it and see if like someone says something, and they'll be like, I need that, or
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Usually I have like a complete idea, like I have a long list of like things I want to make. Like I make cute things as well, like little avocados, or the bees were really popular at one point. Every year I do a blueberry, and as well with poppies. Everyone always asks for a poppy.
One of the things I bought one of your works at the trade show, but one of the things you had mentioned when I texted you to say I bought this beautiful one of your keychains, your bigger works, and you were so happy to know the person that bought it, and
Yes.
and I think that probably every artist feels that way, but you really brought it to home for me. You know, that was a really important part of this artwork. Yeah.
Yeah, like most of the people that buy my pieces are people that I know, or like people like referrals from my family, something like that. So it is like it's great with the Emporium, like to have another outlet to have people that might not know my work, or you know, bigger opportunity. But at the same time, I'm not there for that transaction.
Well, I think I agree. I think that has to be such an important part. Well, speaking about the Emporium, you know, to get to that point, because I think, you know, you can buy beautiful things everywhere, really, in the world.
Yeah.
But what makes these pieces so special is that there's an intended connection, like specifically for the person that receives it, you know, and the person that gives it.
Yeah. So I went to L'Orange 3 weekends ago, and there was this one girl, and she just loved the turtles, and she was like deciding which one, and she was from Cumberland House, but she lives and works there. And she was a young person, but she was just like so drawn to it, and she picked the one that, you know, because I do each one in a different color and outline, and she was just so drawn to it, and she's like, I love it, and she put it on. She had a very cute outfit that night, and then like the next day she came back, another cute outfit, and then she had like a vintage top with a swirly thing, and she had it pinned on right there, and it was just like, you know, she walked by my table waving, and it was just like so fun to see. And I was like, oh, I wish I had asked her to take a picture. But it was just like nice to see her, and like she was so happy to wear it again for the second day in a row. So something like that makes it really nice. Last year, like with the poppies, usually at a certain point I'm like, no more. It's like too much, and I'm like, oh, my hands. But someone in Ontario bought one, and he posted it, and then suddenly I got all these people that I don't know who they are, like strangers, but they were all ordering. So in like one sense it was nice, because like his network had now shared so much more, but then at the same time, like it's weird to send things away and you just never know if you'll see them again.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Kristy. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
I'm not sure.
How did your sister learn about it?
Hmm?
How did your sister learn about beading?
Yeah, my sister, she has a great story with her beadwork, so hopefully we can get her on camera one time. But her work is by Muddy Butterfly Designs, and she does all her beadwork on birch bark as frameable art, and as well like beading. There's a saying like beading is medicine, and I definitely find that like with us when we get together. You know, she usually comes to my house. We get a pot of coffee, and we sit, you know, for 2-3 hours, and we do our own projects but together, and it's usually like I find in those moments like good conversation comes out, or if people need to talk about things, like when you're sitting in a sewing circle, just things come out and you just feel good afterwards. And so I would definitely like to see something like that hosted more within our community. Just like an opportunity so people can come and sit, and then if they need to learn, like if they just never learned from their grandmas, had that chance or that opportunity or patience at that time, that we can come and like sit together and just share the space and work together.
I just had a conversation with an artist that's in town currently. Walter Roy Daniels is his name, and he was commenting, you know, on he's looking for 6 students to work with him on a large work at the Forks in Winnipeg,
Okay.
and he commented on the hidden talent that is everywhere, that you can sometimes, I think, only find through a peaceful place, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And like, yeah, it was just fun, like working with the students, and it was just some kids just like really surprised their teachers and like did a great job, and some of them were just so creative, like they caught on, and then they were making all kinds of designs and ideas, or they were doing extra, and some weren't ready for it.
Yeah.
But it's good just to like have that opportunity, and like you just kind of never know.
Thank you, Kristy.
Yes, you're welcome.